أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يسألونك عن الشهر الحرام قتال فيه قل قتال فيه كبير وصد عن سبيل الله وكفر به والمسجد الحرام وإخراج أهله منه أكبر عند الله والفتنة أكبر من القتل ولا يزالون يقاتلونكم حتى يردوكم عن دينكم إن استطاعوا ومن يرتد منكم عن دينه فيمت وهو كافر فأولئك هبطت أعمالهم في الدنيا والآخرة وأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. Dear friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I recited Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayat number 217. In this ayat, Allah tells us about the question that was put up by the Muslims to Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam about fighting in sacred months. So we read ayat, Allah said, Yas'alunaka, they ask you, Anish Shahril Haram, about the sacred month, Kitalin, fighting, Fihe, in it. Yas'alunaka Anish Shahril Harame Kitalin Fi. So they ask you about the fighting in sacred month. Kul, say to them, Kitalun Fihe Kabir. Kitalun, fighting, Fihe, in it, Kabir, the biggest sinful thing. So Allah said, Kul Kitalun Fihe Kabir. So say the people that fighting is the greatest sinful act in the sacred month. Wasaddun, and blocking or stopping the people on from Sabilillah, the way of Allah. And Allah said, and wasaddun an Sabilillah, and blocking the people from the way of Allah. Wa kufrum bihi, and disbelieving in him. Kufrun, disbelieving, bihi mean in him, in Allah. Wa kufrum bihi, and disbelieving in Allah. Wal masjidil haram, and preventing from the access to the masjidul haram. So this was the other sinful act. Allah said, Wal masjidil haram, and preventing the Muslims access to masjidul haram. Wa ikhraju, and driving out ahlihi, its people who were living in Minhu from it, it means from Makkah. So this was the other act which Allah mentioned in it. The Muslims who were in Makkah, to driving them out of Makkah with the Muslims' families, and so this was the other sinful act. Allah said, "Wa ikhraju ahlihi minhu," and driving out from its city or its area, like from Makkah. Allah said, "Akbaru is the greatest sinful thing in the law near to Allah." Wal fitnatu, and the oppression or the fitna. Akbaru is the greater minal qatl than the killing. Wala yazaluna, and they will not cease yuqatilunakum, to fight with you. It means the kuffar, they will not finish their fighting with you. It means they will continue to fight with you even up to the day of judgment. Hatta, until yaruddukum, until they turn away you an dinakum, from your religion. In istata'u, if they are able to do it. So if they are able to do it, they will turn away you from your religion. Allah said, وَمَن يَرْتَدِدْ, and the person who turns away minkum, among you, an dinihi, from his religion. If a person who turns away from his religion, fayamut, and dies, wahuwa kafirun, and when he dies, he is in the state of kufr, or as a disbeliever. So Allah said, فَأُولَٰئِكَ, and these are the people, habitat amaluhum. Habitat mean waste, go waste. Amaluhum, their amal, their deeds. So these are the people whose deeds have gone waste. So the deeds became wasteful. Fid dunya, in this world, wal akhirah, and the world hereafter. So they will not get the reward of them. Wa ulaika, and these are ashabun nar, and these are the people of the hell. Hum fiha khalidun, and they will stay in it forever. If you look, the Prophet ﷺ, when he migrated from Mecca to Medina, so after 2 years of migration, about 2 months before the Battle of Badr, Holy Prophet ﷺ, he sent a small group of Muslims, about 8 people, so to a place that is called Nakhla. It is in between Taif and Makkah. So the Prophet ﷺ sent about 8 persons, in which Ammar bin Yasir radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Abu Huzaifa radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Saad bin Abi Waqas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Utbah bin Ghazwan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Suhail radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Amir radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Waqid bin Abdullah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and also uh, Abdullah bin Jahash radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So he sent down about 8 people team just in order to investigate, in order to understand, in order to get information about the uh, plans of Quraysh of Makkah, or the Mushrikeen of Makkah, about the killing of Muslims, or about attacks, or about their uh, plans. So, in order to understand, in order to get information, so Prophet ﷺ sent down the this small team of Muslims in order to investigate, in order to get more information, so that Muslim must be aware about that, and they must do some type of tactics in order to defend them from the future attacks of kuffar of Makkah. So in this small group, Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was made the chief of this small group. But Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when he was to leave, he started crying because he was in love with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was not to leave him. So this way it was very difficult for him to leave Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to go there. So that time the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stopped him, and then he he said Abdullah bin Jahsh radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and then he was made the chief of this small group. And these all people, they went to Nakhla in the guidance of Abdullah bin Jahash radiallahu ta'ala anhu, in order to get information about the enemy. So, but it was about 29th of Jamadil Akhir, this Islamic month, Jamadil Akhir, 29th. And the Muslims, this small team, they were expecting that this month, the month of Jamadil Akhir, it will finish uh, completing the 30 days. So, but this finished in 29th days. So next day was the next month, Rajabul Murajab. So Rajab was the month, so sacred month in which fighting is haram. So what happened? So when this group of Muslims went and reached at destination in Nakhla, they found a small group of kuffar, and the fighting started. And what happened at that time? One person who was from Kuffar, Umru bin al-Harzami, he was killed by Waqid bin Abdullah radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So then fighting finished, and two persons were arrested by Muslims, and with them the Muslims small team came back to Medina before Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So at that time, the kuffar, Yahud, the Jews, and the Munafiqeen, they organized a propaganda against the Muslims and Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that these Muslims sent by Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to fight in the month of Rajab, and they killed a person when the killing was not allowed. So they violated the tradition of Arabs that was starting from Ibrahim alayhi salam. So the killing in the sacred month was not allowed. So they were blaming to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they tried their best to open up and this propaganda as much as they can in order to make the mind of Muslims to make them away from Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and even they tried their best to make the mind of Muslims to hate from Islam. So this way, when these people they came back, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam don't accepted because he said that they went to uh, get the information, but this type of fighting was not allowed, not commanded by Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this way, Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he left the people, he released them who were prisoners, and also he don't accepted any type of things which they brought with them. So he left them back and gave them back also. So that time Holy Prophet ﷺ was waiting, and the Jibreel alayhi came to the Prophet ﷺ with this ayat. This ayat, Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat number 217. Yas'alunaka anish shahril haram. They ask you, the people, the Sahaba, Ridwanullah alayhim ajmain, they ask you anish shahril haram, qitalin fi. So they ask you about fighting in the sacred month, because Rajab was the sacred month. And if you look the sacred months out of 12 months, Zikad, Zulhajj, Muharram, and Rajab. So these 4 months are the sacred month in which the fighting is not allowed. So this way Allah said, Yas'alunaka anish shahril harami qitalin fi. So they ask you about the fighting in the sacred month. Kul qitalun fihi kabir. And say to these people that the fighting fihi in this month, kabir, is the greatest sin. So fighting in this month is the greatest sinful thing. So fighting is not allowed, killing is not allowed, disturbing is not allowed, because the sacred month mostly they were popular among the Quraysh before the Holy Prophet ﷺ also, because they said in the history it comes that from Ibrahim alayhi salam, so the months, these 4 months, they were sacred and people were respecting these months, because in these months the people throughout the world, they were just to come to perform Hajj and Umrah. So this way their journey must be peaceful and no trouble to them. This way, these 4 months were called as a sacred month, the months which give the full protection and peaceful situation in all around the journey, so that the people they come to perform Hajj and Umrah safe and sound, and even they go back to their home safe and sound also after performing Hajj or Umrah. So these were the sacred months. So in these months, the fighting was not allowed. This way Allah said, Kul kitalun fihe kabir. So say the people that the fighting during these sacred month, in this sacred month, is the greatest sinful act. Then Allah said about the oppression of the kuffar and mushrikeen of Makkah, what they have done on the Muslims. So Allah said, "Wasaddun an sabilillah," and to stop or to block the Muslims from the way of Allah. So that is the other sinful act. This was done by the Quraysh of Makkah, by the Mushrikeen of Makkah. You can see the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his companion and the people who got Islam. So those people, when they were in Makkah, they were under oppression and under torture of these Mushrikeen of Makkah. So they were teasing them, torturing them, and it was the painful life what they spent in Makkah. So this way Allah said, "Wasaddun an sabilillah," and the blocking or stopping the people from the way of Allah. Wa kufrum bihi, because those people who were in Makkah, they were not to accept Allah because they disbelieve in Allah. Wa kufrum bihi, and they were disbelieving Allah. And wal masjid al haram, and they were to prevent the access for the Muslims to go to Masjid al Haram, because even you can see the Muslims who were living in Makkah at that time, they were unable to perform their salah in Makkah, in Holy Kaaba, Allah's house. It was not allowed by the Mushrikeen at that time. Even they were not allowed to go around the Holy Kaaba because that was under control of those people also. So this way, those people, they were not allowing Muslim to go around the Holy Kaaba just to do the tawaf. So that was not allowed also, and that the Muslims were not allowed to pray in Holy Kaaba also. And even if someone was to go to pray there, so was tortured by them also. So this was the different type of tactics of torturing and teasing by the kuffar in Makkah. You can see the Bilal radiallahu ta'ala anhu and other Muslims who were tortured by the mushrikeen of Makkah. So then, wa ikhraju ahlihi minhu akbar indallah. So because those people, they they made the life of Muslims who were in Mecca so much painful, and in they were thinking to leave the city also. So they made them to migrate. So this type of act, Allah said, it is worst sinful thing, because it is it this type of act is like a fitna. Fitna is like oppression. Something Allah said, this type of fitna, or the fitna is the greatest sinful act. Most is topmost uh, evil act, because the punishment of this is worse than the killing. So is so much painful, so much greatest evil act. So Allah disliked it, and this way Allah said, these people, they tried to persuade Muslims, to motivate them against Islam, against Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and so they tried their best. So this motivation and persuasion to the Muslims, so that they can leave, they should be in a position to leave their religion, and due to different type of tactics and the propaganda of the kuffar. So this type of thing was done at the time of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You can see now the kuffar and mushrikeen, they are also trying this type of tactic now also in different areas of the world, and to stop the Muslims not to go to pray in masjid, uh, not to stay in Islam constantly, and they also try to make the mind of the Muslims that you are fundamentalist, you are extremist, you are different type of people. So if a person, they try to make them away from Islam, and they try to make their mind not to concentrate on the teachings of Islam, and they should not be obedient to Allah and Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Like the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and Allah said also in the Holy Quran that Ya ayyuhallazina amanu udkhulu fi silmi kafa. O people of Iman, you have to enter in Islam fully. But these people, they try to make their mind that if you are just to act upon little bit in Islam, but okay, that by name you are Muslim, all right, this is enough. But there is no way to, no need to be the fully obedient to the Islam. So otherwise they call extremist or fundamentalist or different type of things. So the Muslims, some Muslims who comes under their uh, motivation or persuasion, and even some of them, they can leave the religion also. This way Allah said, these people, they will not leave you. Wala yazaluna yuqatilunakum. These people will never cease their fighting against you. So they will continue to fight with you. Hatta yaruddukum an dinikum, until they will turn away you from your religion. Inistatao, if they are able to do it, if they have power, if they have energy, so they, what they will do, they will try to use their full energy, full force, full power, full struggle in order to make your mind go away from Islam, turn away from Islam. So they will try their best to make you away from that one. Otherwise, they want that you should accept their religion. If you are just to accept their religions, then they will leave you. Otherwise, they will continue up to the day of judgment. This type of their motive will continue. So this Allah said, you can see this type of example in different areas of the world where the Muslims are, like in Burma, in Syria, in Iraq, in different areas. You can see what type of treatment has been done with Muslims by the kuffar. So this way Allah said, if a person who is turning away from Islam, so what is the status of that person? Allah explains in this one also. وَمَنْ يَرْتَدِدْ مِنْكُمْ عَنْ دِينِهِ, if a person who turns away from the religion among you, فَيَمُتْ وَهُوَ كَافِرٌ. The first thing is that one, if that person will die, so he will die like as a disbeliever. So that is the first thing about that person. And the second thing is that one, that this person, his bondage with wife is broken, because the nikah or the bondage will finish. That is the other thing. And the third thing, this person will not be able to get any share from the property of the relatives. So that is the other thing. And this person will not be able to get the reward of his good deeds, his or her good deeds at the day of judgment, because all the Allah said, فَأُولَٰئِكَ حَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. And these are the people uh, whose the deeds becomes wasteful. So they in this world and the world hereafter, so they will not get any type of reward in this world and the world hereafter from their deeds. Even they have done the good deeds, they all of good deeds will go waste. So that is the other thing. And similarly, the iman and the amal when finish, then these people who are the who left their religion, so these people, their funeral prayer, if they die, so funeral prayer of these people is not read, and these people will not be able to get the place for burying themselves, their body, in the graveyard of the Muslims. So they will not be able to get the place in the graveyard of Muslims for their body to be buried. So this is even if there is Islamic government, if a person who turns away from Islam, the punishment for that person is to be killed. So this person is called murtad, and his life, because the death sentence is the punishment for that person. So this way Allah said, and at the day of judgment, the place for that person is the hell, where these people they have to stay forever. So here, if you go into with full concentration, you will see that Allah said in this ayat that the biggest, the greatest fitna, or the biggest evil practice, that is more than killing. So that is the stopping Muslims, blocking them from the way of Allah, due to having different type of tactics, just to persuade them, to make a campaign, to make a propaganda against Islam, and different type of tactics to be used, and not to make their way to go into the masjid, because they will, it is said that otherwise you will be the extremist or the fundamentalist, or something like this. And even the Muslims, when they are practicing good people, so these people, so they are, uh, they have to face different type of torments and punishment and problems. And even some countries, you can see, they are kicked out from their own houses, from their own country also. So this type of punishment is the biggest sinful act, so much biggest sinful act, more than fitna mean, is more than killing. So this is so much sinful act, Allah dislike it, and the people who do so, and they will get their place in hell. So this is the way, because if you look in Islam, there is no any compulsion. You are not to force any person to convert the religion. Islam give full freedom, that if a person whose mind and heart is so became so much soft for Islam, so that person can accept Islam freely according to his mind or her mind. Or if the heart and mind accept, then the person is allowed to accept Islam. But Islam never make a person by force to convert into Islam. So this is, if some people say this one, that is the wrong thing. So this way we understand from here that the Muslims are peaceful people throughout the world, and Islam is giving the peaceful life throughout the world up to the day of judgment. But the people who are persuading are like Muslims, in order to hate Islam or to leave Islam. So those people are the sinful, and the people who follow them and they leave their Islam, they become murtad, mean they are, they get all the good deeds wasteful. So no reward for them at the day of judgment. So they will get the punishment in hell forever. So this way we understand from this ayat, where Allah said, yas'alunaka anish shahril haram qitalan fi, they ask you about the fighting in sacred month. Kul qitalun fihi kabir, so say them that the fighting is the greatest sinful act in the sacred month. Wasaddun an sabilillah, and blocking the Muslims from the way of Allah is the more greatest sinful act. Wa kufrum bihi, and disbelieving in Allah, wal masjidil haram, and preventing the Muslims access to the masjidul haram, that is also a great greatest sinful act. وإخراج أهله منه, and leaving them or driving them out of their houses from their own native city, and to make them to migrate. That is other biggest sinful act. uh, Akbaru indallah. So that is the greatest sinful act near to Allah. Wal fitnatu, and that becomes a fitna, like oppression of these people. And akbaru min al qatl, fitna is the greatest sinful act, more than killing also. Wala yazaluna yuqatilunakum. Allah said these kuffar people, they will never cease fighting from you. They will continue their fighting with you. Hatta yaruddukum an dinikum, until they will be able to, they will try to turn you away from your own religion. In istatao, if they are able to do it, they will try it. They by with their capability, they will try to make you away from your religion. And for Allah said, وَمَنْ يَرْتَدِدْ مِنْكُمْ عَنْ دِينِهِ, if a person who turns away from his religion or her religion, فَيَمُتْ وَهُوَ كَافِرٌ, and if dies, and that person will die as a disbeliever, فَأُولَٰئِكَ حَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُمْ, Allah said, and these are the people whose the good deeds became wasteful. So in في الدنيا والآخرة, in this world and the world hereafter. وأولئك أصحاب النار, and these are the people of the hellfire. Whom فيها خالدون, they will stay there forever. So we got from it that if a person, after persuasion from the people who became in a position to leave the religion Islam, so that person will get the all types of good rewards go into waste and destroyed in this world, and the world hereafter will not be in a position to get the reward of that one. And also so many other uh, things possible, like his bondage with the wife will be broken, and no share from the property, and also no place in the graveyard of Muslims, and no place like in the Muslim society. And even if the Muslim government, and the punishment for that person is to be killed. So this way, it is the greatest lesson for us that we have to stay in Islam constantly. We are not to feel any type of flexibility, just which is coming to us from kuffar, through any way, just through persuasion or motivation, or from any way to make our mind to go away from Islam. We are not to accept that one. So the Islam, which is the best way of life, to make our life peaceful and strong, nice and good in this world and hereafter. So we have to follow the teachings of Islam. So under the guidance we got from Sharia of Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so we have to follow it, and we request Allah to stay us constantly in it throughout our life, and to die, to give us death as a Muslim in this world and the world hereafter. We must get the reward, the best reward from you, inshallah. Amin.